For instance, an answer to that question might be, when I am in fear, I lash out at those I love. It is very important for you to identify the behavior that you engage in when you are in fear. Often you do not know when you are in fear because it is a behavior or an energy that you are used to. But if you can learn to identify your behavior patterns, you can then examine your patterns and know when you are in fear. That way, every time you lash out at someone you love, you are going to know, ah, I must be in fear. Question in German. Chances are those patterns will be the same for all the fears, right? Answer. Yes. Thank you very much. If you have 25 fears that you've just listed, the behavior that you engage in when you are in fear will be identical for all of those 25 things you've listed. Fear is fear. Once you've done this second question, started to identify your behavior, this is when you are going to start feeling a little twinge of personal power. Because you are going to start to realize that you have the tool to recognize it, and so you have the tool to confront it, and you have the tool to heal it. The third question would be, 3. What possible value can I find for the expression of my fear? Let us reword this. What value can you ascribe to the expression of your fear? Example, your fear is extremely valuable because it points out to you when you are having tremendous growth opportunities. If you can identify through your behavior when you are in fear, you can stop and say, ah, this is an extremely valuable time right now, because it signifies something for me to move through which will be tremendously empowering. Question. FDR said that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Answer. Yes. Question. Do I get from this third question that what you are trying to do is to shift our viewpoint of having been afraid of fear to embracing that fear as something valuable in our transformation and our personal growth? Answer. When you can accept the value of everything in your life, including the negative, including fear, that will be when you claim your power. Question. The point being that the thing that we have not wanted to confront is more the fear rather than the results of the fear. Answer. Yes. Question. If you are talking about the gun, it isn't that we want to not confront the shooting, it is that we don't want to confront the emotion of fear that is associated with a gun. So you are trying to get us to confront the fear itself and embrace it. Answer. Yes. Humans are more afraid of fear than the actual thing they claim they are afraid of. Question. Which is why people say whenever they've had, for example, a terrible car accident, they get through it and say, that's all there is. They can't believe how simple it is once they go through the fear. Answer. Going back to the beginning of what we were saying, how your ego develops the minute your ego perceives a threat, it is going to protect you from that threat. Not only is it going to protect you from the threat, it is going to protect you from the feeling of being threatened. That means protecting you from feeling fear. So not only is your ego protecting you from the thing, it is also protecting you from the feeling of the thing, which is the fear. Question. Is it really even protecting you from the thing? Isn't its only job to protect you from the feeling? Answer. Recognize that a lot of the portions of the ego delude themselves. So it is going to protect you from anything that takes on any shape or form, close to the fear. Question. I just have to say one more thing that is hitting me at this point. Anytime the ego receives a threat, it reacts with fear. It has one response to any number of invasions. This is the exact same mechanism that the physical body has. It has one response, which is inflammation, and then it goes on from there. It is a one-response mechanism. Answer. Yes. And recognize that even though the ego has one response, fear, that fear will often cloak itself in other emotions so that it is disguised so that you can never trace it back to the ego. It is a camouflage mechanism. For instance, descriptions of things that are really fear disguised are often anger, jealousy, protectiveness. We could go on and on and on with this. The fear is underlying all of the disguises that it appears as, and you will need to examine your reactions to situations to really see where the fear is. Fear is it. When you master fear, you master your personal power. The fourth part of the exercise is a fun little exercise that is going to let your subconscious really have its say. These other portions of the exercise are your conscious mind. The fourth part of the exercise is 4. Personify your fear. Take a clean sheet of paper, colored pens and pencils, crayons, whatever you want, and what you are going to do is to personify your fear. Draw your fear. Give it a humanoid form, whether it looks like a witch or a vampire or an ugly monster. Make it as ugly and as sinister as you can, but still keep it having the appearance of human. This is a very, very powerful mechanism. What it is going to do is communicate to your subconscious mind and your ego that fear is on your level. We will call this fear character Mr. Fear. You can call it Miss Fear if you want to, it doesn't matter. Mr. Fear, when personified, is like fear being revealed. It is now vulnerable. It now stands there in front of you and you can see it as your height. It has 2 arms, 2 legs. It is something you can deal with. It is not this big, black void. When you put fear on your level through personification, you can then use all sorts of techniques such as dialoging with a fear to help the transformational process occur. When you've mastered fear, once again you will repeat, when you've mastered fear, you have mastered self-empowerment. In a sense, fear is the one enemy all of you are fighting on this planet. To speak a little bit dramatically, each of you have disguised Mr. Fear in a different costume. So Mr. Fear is always something outside of you. However, Mr. Fear is something very alive and well inside. And it is the primary blockage toward mastering personal power. When Mr. Fear is brought to your level and embraced and allowed to express itself, you will be on the path toward absolutely and totally mastering your personal power. You are already seeing in your society, in your own circle of friends perhaps, that when one commits themselves to personal growth, one must confront fear or you will not go any farther. The tools to personal power are very easy, very light. They have the instructions clearly written upon them. But you can't get in the toolbox, because Mr. Fear has his foot on it. Until you befriend Mr. Fear, you cannot get at that toolbox. You may, when Mr. Fear is taking a nap, sneak to the toolbox and pull out a tool. But no sooner do you have it in your hand, he wakes up and he snatches it back. This is the game that humans have been playing for quite some time. But now you know there is a toolbox. Now you know the instructions are clearly written on the tools. Now you know that the only thing standing in between you is Mr. Fear. He's the one to contend with, and he is a part of you. Because he is a part of you, he needs to be valued and recognized for what he can give to you. When you can do that, that is an indication that you are either very close to mastering or have mastered your fear. From that point on, the toolbox is clearly open and clearly labeled. It is your playground. And we would say that your mastery of your own personal power in this lifetime, in this physical reality, is more of a playground than you realize. If there is no fun involved in this mastery, we would suggest not doing it. If there is no joy, if there is no excitement, go back a little bit and work on something else until you can muster the joy and the excitement. Because when you've truly committed toward mastery of that personal power, if you are truly committed and truly excited, then even the fear will be an exciting thing. That also will be a signpost to tell you whether you've really committed or whether you are still in the phase of trying to commit. If your fear is an exciting thing, because it represents the path to your power, then you are full steam ahead. If not, then continue to search for the mastery of your fear before you go further. And once again, when you feel the excitement, you will know you are ready. Each and every one of you carries this toolbox. Each and every one of you has an equal chance of mastering those tools. We know you would not have set this up if you were not capable of achieving it. And we know that the rewards are great when you achieve it. You are a very persistent civilization. You will achieve what you are setting out to do. Persistence, patience, joy, and love. Enjoy your road to personal power. For there is a pot of gold at the end. Much love to you, and we send you a good day.